guys, welcome back. Obviously I'm not wearing any makeup. I've got my beautiful silver patch right there. My hair is still kind of wet. No jewelry. You know, I'm not dressed very nice right now, but that's because I'm going to do a get ready with me. So all that's going to be fixed by the end of this video, hopefully. I think I've got about 2 hours before I have to jet out the door to my children's school because, you know, obviously I am volunteering as usual. Not as usual, usually once or twice a week, but today my daughter really wanted me to be there for just a Christmas party that was postponed from before Christmas, and so I was like, okay, I'll go. She just wants to be able to wave to me in the hallway. It's like, it's so funny. But, you know, if those things mean something to her, then of course I want to do it. So anyways, I thought that I would make this get ready with me just a little bit interesting. I thought that while I sat here and put on makeup, rather than, you know, this is not going to be any type of tutorial because there's plenty of tutorials out there, and I'm pretty new to you know, makeup applications and stuff like that, especially eyeshadows and stuff. So this is not the place to get any type of tutorials. I'll tell you and I'll show you the way that I do things, but it may or may not work for you because, you know, we might have different features or different shaped eyes or different issues with aging skin and stuff like that. But anyways, so I just thought that as I sat here and put on makeup that I would just kind of tell you a bunch of different random facts about me. And I've got them written down over here because obviously I don't just typically sit around and, you know, spit out like 50 facts about myself. So anyways, I just thought that would be kind of interesting because I love sharing beauty secrets and stuff like that, but I also like to get to know you guys, and I want you guys to get to know me too. And the only way to kind of do that is to share information about ourselves. And I'm sure that as I'm going along, you're probably going to be like, me too, you know, I do the same thing, or I'm the same way, or I, you know, have the same opinions about that. But anyways, so that's what I thought that I would do. I've got my mirror right here so that I can kind of talk and put on makeup at the same time. So anyways, all right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, before I get started, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys this right now because I know I'm gonna have questions about this because I have before and I just haven't answered them because I figured I, you know what, would eventually address it in one of my videos. And so that's what I'm going to do. I've been asked very many times, like, have I ever tattooed my eyebrows? And the answer is yes. And when I say that I've tattooed them, I personally have tattooed them because probably around, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, I started losing eyebrow hair, eyelashes, hair on my head. I didn't know what was going on. Ended up going to a doctor and found out that I had Hashimoto's thyroiditis. And now I'm hypothyroid. So because of that, I was losing a lot of hair. Now, the eyebrow hair, and I did a lot of plucking back in the day, but the eyebrow hair just wasn't growing back, and I had like really areas that just looked, I don't know, almost bald or something, you know, very, very sparse. So I wanted to fill those in. So I did, and I just retouched it up a couple weeks ago, and maybe 3-4 weeks ago. So they're still kind of pretty dark right now because they kind of go through this process of scabbing and then the scab falling off, and then they're really dark, and then the skin kind of grows over, and then it just kind of lightens it up and stuff like that. But anyways, so just wanted you to know that. Please do not ask for tutorials about that. I'm not going to try to encourage anybody to tattoo their own face, but I'm just like that, you know. I'm a DIY girl, you know. I do everything myself. I color my own hair and everything else, so that's just another thing that I did. And and basically all I did was follow the natural shape of my eyebrow. I did go maybe a little bit higher on this side and a little lower on this side because just to kind of even them out, because one of my eyebrows sits a little bit higher. So other than that though, this is just the natural shape of my eyebrows, and my eyebrows are typically, when I was growing up, they were like jet black. I might even throw in a picture or something to show you just how jet black and how thick they were, and I hated them. I would give anything to have them back now, but I hated them then. So now I'm like tattooing them. There's my home phone. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. I've wasted a lot of time. Let me go ahead and start with my, you know, just my Garnier roller under eye concealer. I'll put everything in the description box, and let me start telling you some facts about myself. And I'm just gonna actually start with just you know, the most common, you know, facts about somebody, which is that I am happily married. I've been with my husband since 1997, which is a very, very long time. But we've only been married since 2004. We had a very long dating and, you know, engagement, but we were really young, you know. So we met, I think when I was 24. Anyways, we have 2 children, and I've got a 10-year-old girl and an 8-year-old boy. love them more than life itself. I cannot imagine my life without them. There's nothing in me that would ever want to turn back the hands of time and not be a mom. I love and enjoy being a mom more than any role that I've ever played in my life. Oh, it's gonna make me emotional. Oh no. Okay. Oh. So anyways, I love being a mom. Next fact. I weigh 110 pounds. I'm 5'3½". I used to be, I swear to God, I used to be 5'4". But I can't imagine, I'm only 40. Okay, so again, I'm 43. I'm gonna be 44 in July. And I swear to God, I used to be 5'4". But you know, and I can't imagine that I've already shrunk, you know, and I'm only 43, you know. So anyway, I've got two sisters. I've got an older sister that is 13 months older, and her name is Stephanie, and I've got a younger sister that is 4.5 years younger. Her name is Jasmine. It's so funny because whenever I was young, you know, we were always so excited to be the older one. Now that we're older, I'm like, God, I would give anything to be the 4.5 year younger one, you know, the youngest. Okay, so I just put that part on. That's just the Garnier roller. It's very sheer. I like that. Then I'm going to put this Age Rewind. God, it's so gross. And I'm just going to place that underneath for a little bit more coverage. It's really funny. I'm really light right up under my eyes, and then it just transitions into darker on my cheeks, and I don't know really why, but it's just the way that it is. So I like to try to even it out. I know that sometimes I do not get it right, and somebody always lets me know about that, but that's okay. I'm pretty tough. I say I'm pretty tough, but you know, sometimes comments can get to me. But you know what? I've never really had any really nasty comments. I mean, for the most part, everybody's been very, very nice. I've had a few that were just a little, you know, not so kind, but nothing that I've lost sleep over. I might bitch about it to my husband, but I haven't lost any sleep over it. Okay, so there we go. There we go with the concealer. Let's see. Okay, the phrase that I hear the most, more than anything that's ever said to me is, "You are so hard to get a hold of." And I'm not somebody who likes to talk on the phone. I don't know. I don't like to talk on the phone. I do like to email. I'm okay with texting. I'm not that great at it either. But I like hanging out with people in person. But, you know, it's funny. I have my two sisters, and they are my absolute best friends. I mean, 100%. We share everything with each other. I mean, I seriously could not imagine my life without them. And then I have another best friend, and her name is Melissa Kenyon. Oh, I wonder if I should not have said her last name. Her name is Melissa. And we have been friends since, I guess, 6th grade. And she's just one of those people that, she's like a sister to me. She's just one of those people that will be in my life for eternity. She is hilarious, and I love her. Both my sisters are funny. We just have so much fun together, all of us. But anyways, my best friend, she doesn't live here. She lives in St. Louis. So we basically have phone happy hour on Fridays sometimes. And we just, you know, talk about life and children. And then sometimes we'll just go way back in time, travel back in time, and just really talk about, you know, high school years and the way that we were back then and stuff like that. Oh, by the way, yeah, I'm using, most people don't use these sponges anymore, but I like them. I don't know. They're soft. All right, my camera shut off for a second. I hate when that happens. Anyways, I get really, really, really pale in the winter months, and so because of that, I do use a foundation that matches my skin color. Now, I don't know why my chest area doesn't get as white as my neck and face do, but so that's why in the winter months I will sometimes use like either a bronzer or just a darker powder on my cheeks. I don't ever really use blush. But anyways, so I'm about to put on some setting powder, and all I've done is I've taken this Ulta Mineral Setting Powder, and my e.l.f. setting powder, and I've mixed them. A subscriber sent that to me, and I really, really like it. And so thank you, Maxine. It was Maxine. So, and so I mixed those together because I had a little bit left in here, and I just put it in this little jar, and then that's what I use as setting powder. Okay, so another fact is that I am deathly afraid of giant cockroaches, which I am sure that I'm not alone with that fear, but literally it has caused problems in my life. And my parents will still joke about different situations and stuff that involved one of those giant roaches with me whenever I was younger, or even a teenager. One time I came home from being at my boyfriend's house, and I walked in, and I was actually like trying to sneak in, and because I was getting home a little bit late. I was like, I don't know, 17 or 18, still living at home. But anyways, I was getting in, and I looked over, and there was this giant roach right there. So I was like, oh my gosh. So all of a sudden it starts just like running towards me. Like, I don't understand why roaches, that's what's so creepy about roaches. Like, they run towards you, they don't run away from you. And this roach, literally, I swear to God, it was chasing me down the hall. And so I started screaming bloody murder. And my dad was asleep. All of a sudden, my dad comes running out of his bedroom into the hallway with a gun. Because obviously, all he hears is his daughter screaming bloody murder. And oh my God, I got in so much trouble. I got in so much trouble because my dad's like, you know, you can't go screaming like that over something that you could step on, you know. But those things take flight, and that's the scariest part about them, because when they fly, oh my God, it's like the grossest thing in the world. They're like, they have these wings, and then their just giant body just dangles down. Oh, ew. Like, I can't even see one. Like, on TV, even if I see one on TV, I will literally like jump up and run out of the room. It's just, grosses me out so much. So anyways, that's one roach story. There's another one where I actually was an office manager, and I was responsible for opening the office every day and, you know, setting appointments and taking phone calls and stuff like that until my boss arrived like an hour later. And I walked in, and there were 2 giant roaches like right on my desk. And I literally just shut the door, relocked it, and went and sat in my car until my boss got there. And of course, when he got there, you know, he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, you know, I've told you to call the bug guy, and you haven't. And so there are 2 giant roaches around my desk. I'm not going in. And he's like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, he was like, so you just didn't open the office? And, you know, he wasn't happy about that. But he called the bug guy, you know, and he was really nice. We had a really good working relationship together, so he wasn't happy about that, but he understood it because he saw the way that I reacted if I ever saw a roach, because I'd seen one at the office before. And so anyways, that's just another funny story. What am I going to do next? You know what? I'm going to do my eyebrows. Nope, I'm not. I'm going to put on some powder. So I'm going to put on some powder. And all this is, I have it in this little jar here. It's a mixture of my SPF 50 Colorescience with some e.l.f. high definition, just translucent setting powder. Because that Colorescience, it's a little bit dark for me in the winter months. And so I don't want it that dark. So I just do that. So another little fact about me is that I do not like camping. I have no desire whatsoever to go camping at all. And when I say camping, I mean like sleep in a tent. Like, why would I ever want to do that? No, thank you. It's just, I do not need to be that close to nature. I don't need to be sleeping on the floor in a you know, sleeping bag, worrying about wild animals, you know, attacking my tent and my kids. So that is just something that I never want to do. I would be up all night. I'm too afraid of wild animals and stuff like that. I have a lot of fears. I really do. And I get, you know, my family gets upset with me about it. Because another one of my fears is sharks. And I'm sure most of you are afraid of sharks. Like, who isn't afraid of sharks? But it's to the point where, you know, when we go to the beach and stuff, and I live right near a beach, so we go to the beach often. When we go to the beach, I love everything about the beach, the seagulls, the sand, the crashing of the waves and everything else. But just the thought that there might be a shark in the water, is just terrifying to me, so I don't even get in the water. Even though I grew up on the beach and I spent so much time in the water, I wasn't afraid then, but now I am. So when I'm in there with my kids and my husband, I'm just so anxious, constantly looking around, and so much so that my husband will be like, "Can you just go like lay out or something? So you're just like ruining, I can't even say that, ruining. Oh my God, ruining the experience for all of us." So, so that's what I do. I usually just go. I'm like, all right, maybe even if I wasn't afraid, I should just fake it, huh? So I could just go lay out. Okay, I'm gonna do my eyebrows right now, and all I'm doing is I'm gonna use this brow fix. It's Milani. And I'm just going to mix the two colors, that color and that color, and then I'm just gonna, follow what I've done with the tattoo, really. And like I said, I've always had very, very dark eyebrows. I like the whole dark eyebrows with the blonde hair look. It's just what I've had my whole life, so it's just what I stick with. Okay. It's dark. Okay, let's put some color on my cheeks. I'm gonna use, this is, I'm not gonna use a bronzer. What I'm doing is I'm using this darker powder, and I like a matte finish. I really do. I don't get into all the highlights and stuff like that. It's too much for me. It's too advanced for me. So I just kind of stick with, I want to have some color in my cheeks. So I just use a darker powder. Okay, I need to keep moving right along because I feel like I'm slowing down by talking so much. Okay, so another fact, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started on my eyes. And here's where I have no idea what I'm doing. But sometimes I get it to look okay. So this is what I'm going to do. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this kind of bone color all on my eyes, just all on my whole eye area to start with. Okay, so another fact about me is that I love to drink wine. And it is something that I just really enjoy doing. It makes me feel very, very relaxed. It's funny because I feel very relaxed, but I also have a ton of energy whenever I drink wine. And some people, it just strips their energy, like my sisters. Both of them just like go from, fine to like feeling super tired, and I'm the complete opposite. But if you want to be my friend, you have to like to drink wine too. I'm just kidding. But me and my best friend Melissa, she is a wine drinker like me. So like I said, we will schedule phone happy hours and we'll just sip on some wine and have the best conversations. Oh my God, they're so much fun. And that's one thing that I love also about drinking wine is that you're so in the moment. Like everything is just so exaggerated and what's the word that I'm looking for? It's just I don't know. I love the way that it makes me feel. But I only drink wine on Fridays, and unless I have company in town or it's a holiday or there's a special occasion, but typically I only drink wine on Fridays. But I love it. I love drinking wine, and I love like drinking wine and then like getting really philosophical or making Facebook posts. Sometimes I'll make a Facebook post and I'm just like, oh my God. The next morning I'll wake up, or I'll wake up in the middle of the night like, oh my God, what have I said? What have I done? And then I'll have to go back and check to see. But usually I'm pretty impressed with some of the things that I say, whenever I'm have a little bit of a wine buzz. I don't know. But anyways, okay, that's kind of silly. I don't eat breakfast. I'm not a breakfast eater. I think I'm gonna have to use this other mirror for this. Okay, so I'm gonna use, this is another little palette from Ulta. Sorry, it's probably so dirty because I carry everything in my purse. I don't know if you're like me, but whatever makeup I'm using for the day, that's what I'm gonna be carrying in my purse, which is why my purse is typically very, very heavy. And that's why I have really nice shoulders. I'm just joking. But anyways, I do carry all my makeup in my purse, which is why I have very big purses too. I'm gonna use this color right there. And like I said, my subscriber Maxine bought this for me too. So sweet, and I love it. It's really, they've got such beautiful colors in here. Some of them, most of them I can use. Some of them are a little bit too dark because I'm just too afraid to go that route. I will look like a crazy lady. So, okay, so I'm gonna use that color. It's just kind of a taupey mauve-y color, I think. So anyways, and this is what I do. Basically, I tilt my head back a little bit, and then I place all that color just right up above the crease line, and then I just follow my natural anatomy, follow the just the curve of my eyeball, you know, and that's what I do. So here's what I do. And I like to do a lot of patting. I do not do sweeping and stuff. My skin is too loose and too fragile, and you know, already lost elasticity. I am not trying to speed up the, you know, eye aging process. So I try to be extremely gentle around my eyes at all times. And if you see me sweeping, it's because I'm trying to talk and do all these other things at the same time. But when I'm, you know, when I'm just putting on makeup with some music in the background or something like that, I'm very careful not to do any sweeping. Unless sometimes I get in a rush, you know, then I might do a little bit. So first I just put it right there. And like I said, I just follow the whole curve of my eyeball. I will go all the way down to here, just like that. And then I will, you know, and it's funny because parts of my eyelid, the texture of the skin is just a little bit different. So I have to be careful sometimes because sometimes it might look a little bit patchy, but let me just show you what I do. So then I just keep my eye in a resting position, and the flap of skin that is hanging over my eyelid, I just keep my eye in a resting position like this, and then I just kind of, you know, make whatever whatever look I'm going for, you know. I don't know. I don't like, sometimes I get carried away and then the next thing you know, like my eyeshadow is all the way up to my eyebrow because I don't know where to stop, which is why this is not a tutorial. I'm just showing you how I do it. You see how I mean, even if I am sweeping, the skin's not moving at all. So I'm very gentle. I don't do the blending thing with the brush. No way. I'm not gonna, no. I'm not gonna do that to my skin. But anyways, okay. I hate to be tickled. It is just, I don't know, maybe other people don't like to be tickled too. Some people do, my kids do. Oh my gosh, my son's always asking me to tickle him. But I go into like survival mode and I like freak out when somebody tries to tickle me. So if you ever want to stay friends with me, don't ever tickle me. So then, so that's what I'll do right there. And then I will kind of connect the corners. So I connect this corner here, like this. Oopsie, I saw that skin move and I do not like that. So let's go back to patting. Okay. Okay, see that? This is such a pretty color. That's so pretty. Okay, so another fact about me is that I do not eat breakfast. I've never ever been a breakfast eater. For me, it's very different. Like everybody says, oh, you've got to eat breakfast, it's the most important meal of the day, and it gives you all this energy. For me, it does the exact opposite. It strips my energy. I don't care if it's a piece of toast. It literally like strips my energy. I want to jump right back into bed. I can't do it. I have iced coffee every single morning. Okay, let's go over, well, you know what, yeah. Let's go over to the other eye, and then I'm going to do that exactly what I just did here, and then I'll show you what I do after that. So I drink iced coffee, hazelnut iced coffee every single morning. I make a giant tumbler of it. All I do is I make some hazelnut coffee. I make it extra strong, and then I add creamer and Truvia, and then I pour it over ice, a giant tumbler of ice. And that will literally take me till about noon or 1 o'clock is when I start kind of getting hungry. And you know, it's funny, food is just not a priority to me. It's such a hassle. I don't sit there and wonder what my next meal is going to taste like or what it's going to be. It's such a hassle for me. And so, okay, so see, once again, I'm just resting my eyelids like this, and then I'm just going to put that right on top. And then of course I'm going to try to match the shapes, you know, on both sides. That's not matching. That doesn't match at all. See, the skin on my eyelids are not equally, aren't aging equally the same, you know? So I have to do things a little bit different so that they kind of, you know, I give the illusion that they do match. Now, obviously here I've gone out a lot further. I don't know. Let me match it up on the corners here. Okay, so now that I've done that part, and I think I've connected them in the corners. In the inner corner and the outer corner, just like that. And I know I'm going to end up going into my bathroom and looking and going, holy moly, and then having to fix some stuff. Okay, so that looks silly right now. But then the next thing that I do is I take that same brush. Oh man, I'm going to wipe it right here. I take the same brush and then I take a really light color. And what I like to use is I like to use the highlighter of this Brow Fix. I just think it's a perfect color for my eyelid. So that's what I'm going to do. And that's just going to open up the eyelid a bit. So let's see. Another random fact about me is, and this I think is a lot of people might find interesting and like, what in the world? But I had a friend who bought me a BMW as a wedding gift. It was a nice wedding gift, you know. I'm sure there's not a lot of people that can say that, you know, they had a friend that bought them a BMW. I don't have that car anymore because that was in 2004, and after my kids started getting bigger, I just felt really, really uncomfortable driving in a you know, a car that size. It was just so small and I just did not feel safe at all with my children in it. Okay, so that's what I do to my eyelids, just to kind of open them up a little bit. You see, I don't know if it's real even or not. Okay, so the next thing that I do, then I wipe that off. Then I go back to my bone color, and that's how I blend my colors. Obviously, it's very, you know, I don't want it to look such a severe, you know, transition right there. So I just throw some bone color on top of that, and that just kind of, that's my idea of blending without having to do all the sweeping and pulling on my eyelids and stuff like that. So, and I feel like it kind of achieves the same thing. Sometimes I'll just take it over all the darker color because I like a very subtle look. I've never done a dramatic look, not to say that I won't ever do a dramatic look. Maybe one day I will. But like I said, I'm really new with eyeshadow. I've never used eyeshadows and stuff until probably this last year. And now it's because now it's almost a necessity, you know. I need to create illusions so that my eyes don't look so aged. But before, I was very happy with the no makeup, you know, just kind of mascara and just very, just to kind of enhance my features, you know. But now I feel like I really need eyeshadows to help, you know, camouflage things. So anyways, let's see what this looks like. That's kind of what I do right there. And you know, nothing ever looks great until you have your mascara. Until you have, you know, your eyelashes curled and your mascara and everything like that. I don't put anything on my bottom because anytime that I've ever outlined the eyelash line, I end up looking like this and it looks terrible. And my eyes naturally, they don't go up on the ends. If anything, they go a little bit down on the ends. And you know, I'd rather them not. I'd rather them go a little bit up on the ends. But so when I put on mascara, it really accentuates that, and I don't like that. And plus, they go up in the corners, so then it's just, it looks terrible. It looks terrible on me. So I don't do that. But I do like to put a gray color in my waterline. I love grays. Okay, so next, let's see. Okay, I like really squishy pillows. I like the kind that you can really mold. Oftentimes, you know, I always want to sleep on my back because I know it's best as far as like aging, you know, aging faces are concerned. I remember when I was really young, somebody told me once, she was like, look at my face, look at how this side of my face does this and this one doesn't. And she's like, it's because I always sleep on that side of my face. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I started noticing as I got older that one side of my face, you know, looks a little different than the other. And it's because I always slept on that side of my face. And so I've been practicing sleeping on my back. But when I really need to sleep on my sides, because sometimes I'm just like, I can't go to sleep unless I sleep on my side, I like to have a pillow and I really kind of mold it way up under here so that I'm not squishing my face, you know, when I sleep, so that it's under here and it's still supporting my head without squishing the side of my face. So that's kind of funny. Like the things that we do so that we don't look old, you know. Okay, so the next thing, I do not write in cursive. I know that's kind of odd, but I mean, that's just random, totally random. Sorry, this is gross. So I just curled my eyelashes. Now let's put on some mascara. I print, I don't know why, and I don't slant my letters to the right. I actually slant them to the left. I'm just all messed up. But anyways, that's just how I write. The only thing that I write in cursive is my signature, and that is it. Okay, another random fact about me is that I've never ever broken a bone. I've had surgeries and stuff before. I just recently had a knee surgery, but I've never actually broken a bone, so I don't even know what that feels like. Now this mascara, I need to go buy a new one. This is Voluminous False Fiber Lash. Oh my gosh, this stuff is so freaking cool, but I'm almost out, so it's not coming on as strong as it typically does, but it just like really thickens up my eyelashes quite a bit, and I love it. Because I have very short eyelashes. I've always had short eyelashes, and I've never worn false eyelashes. I might one day. I don't ever want to say never. I don't ever say never. Because I've learned over the years that typically, depending on what's going on in my life, you know, I might change my opinion about things, or I might change, you know, my views on things. So I try not to have really super strong opinions on a lot of things. You know, I try to stay pretty open-minded about things because, like I said, I remember there was a time when I was younger that I would say, I would never do this or I would never do that. And then later on in life, I was like, you don't have a choice. You've got to do that, you know? Now, another random fact about me is that my dad, and this is kind of cool, my grandfather was a minister my whole life, his whole life. And he was a Presbyterian minister. He was born in Mexico, and he spoke very broken English. And it didn't even matter. It didn't even matter that he spoke such broken English. Even though there was always a little bit of a language barrier, not too much, he could always understand what we said. And my grandma was from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, so she was very, very Southern, and she had the most Southern drawl too. But she learned Spanish because she met him when she was in the missionary in Mexico, and he was wanting to become a minister, or she actually talked him into becoming a minister. And anyways, oh my God, I had the absolute best, oh my God, I had the best grandparents in the world. Wow. Sorry. Okay, hold on. I had the absolute best grandparents in the world, and they both just, oh my God, I didn't know I was going to get so emotional just talking about them. They both passed away not too long ago, within the last 5 years, and they were both in their 90s. And oh my God, I want to strive to be the type of grandparents that they were, because all they did was show love. Not just to us, but just to everybody around them. And my God, they were just perfect walking examples of what humans, you know, and grandparents and parents and everything should be like. And my God, if I could measure up to the type of people that they were one day, I will be a wonderful, wonderful person. Anyways, so my grandfather was a Presbyterian minister his whole life, and my grandma was a teacher. Well, my dad is actually an ordained minister, and he was a theology professor for a very long time. My dad is Christian, non-denomination Christian, and so that's what I am too. But I come from a family history of ministers. And then also, I wanted to mention, my grandma's dad, my grandma's father, was a minister his whole life, which is why she entered into the missionary and went to Mexico to, you know, minister the word of God, and that's where she met my grandfather. So it's just kind of a cute story. But anyways, I come from a family history of ministers, and so, you know, something that I'm very, very proud of. And okay, so I'm almost done with my makeup. I'm going to I don't know, I feel like I still need to do some more mascara and stuff like that, but let me put on some lip liner. I feel like that really pulls it all together. But okay, so another fact is that I do not like being pampered at all. It makes me feel extremely uncomfortable. I don't like getting my nails done, getting manicures or pedicures or massages or anything like that. I remember somebody had bought me a massage, me and my husband, a couple of massage for the day of our wedding. And I had so much anxiety going into it, and just the whole time I was laying there, you know, and they're massaging me and stuff, I was like, cannot wait to get out of this situation. It's so super uncomfortable for me. I'm not exactly sure why. I don't know if it's, you know, first of all, I don't like any stranger touching my body, you know, and it was a woman, it wasn't a man, but still it's uncomfortable for me. But anybody performing a service for me makes me feel incredibly uncomfortable. My mom gets so upset because my mom is such a great masseuse. She gives the best massages ever, and everybody in my family, my sisters and whoever else, my daughter, they all take advantage of my mom's willingness to give these massages. But I don't. I mean, I won't. And she's like, just let me. And the second she starts, I'm just like, oh, okay, that's enough. You know, I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. My mom has tried to sit down with me and have these like long talks about why I might not like a massage, and it has nothing to do with anything, you know, profound. It's just not something that I'm comfortable with. I don't know why. I wish that I was, but I'm just not. So I do not like being pampered. I don't like being pampered. I don't like being doted over. I don't like receiving birthday calls on my birthday, and everybody knows that I do not ever answer my phone on my birthday, and they all get mad at me because, you know, they just want to wish me a happy birthday. But that's just me. I'm just really funny that way. Me and my husband, we on our birthdays and stuff, we don't sit there and surprise each other with all these gifts or whatever. If I want something, I just go buy it, you know? And I don't need it to be a surprise. I don't need him to try to, you know, get information out of me to find out what I like or anything like that. Like, it doesn't mean anything to me. Gifts don't do anything for me at all. Like, if anything, they just make me feel uncomfortable. Now, I like getting them, you know, don't get me wrong. If my parents got my sisters, you know, a bunch of gifts on Christmas and then just didn't get me any because, you know, it makes me feel uncomfortable, then I'd be like, oh, you know, it would hurt my feelings. But, and I like the gifts. It's the whole receiving it and opening it and, you know, responding to it and stuff like that that makes me feel super, super uncomfortable. And I just don't want anybody to stress out over what I may or may not like, you know? My poor husband, he tried in the beginning, and everything he got, I was like, do you mind if I take it back? You know, finally he was just like, can you just pick it out yourself? So this is just my NYX Mauve, and I usually use that, and then I'll usually just use chapstick. Sometimes I'll put in a nude color in the middle, but I'm just gonna do it like this. Okay, and a couple little last facts about me is, one of them is I am a cat girl. I have a cat. She's 18 years old. She was actually the first gift that my husband ever got for me. So I was 25 at the time, and I'm 43 now. So she's 18 years old, and she's like a cat dog. She's part Bengal, and she was crazy, like a lunatic when she was a baby, and now she's like the biggest lap cat, and she's so sweet, and she just, if I sit on the floor, she crawls up on my back. She always has to be pawing on me somehow. Like, I can't even brush my teeth. Maybe at the very end I'll add a little video that I took. I went in to brush my teeth and get ready for bed, and she always has to get up on the counter and like keep me company. It's really hard to talk and put on lip liner, so let me just shut up for a second. So, isn't that such a pretty color? It just kind of enhances my natural lip color. I love it. So then I take my chapstick, and I'm gonna actually use this chapstick. This came in an Ipsy bag, Jersey Shore Cosmetics. I've never even heard of that. It's peppermint. I usually just use a cherry chapstick or a strawberry chapstick. So, and that just kind of enhances the natural color of my lips too. But I'm gonna put this NYX, it's a nude color. It's called Spirit. And it looks like this. Everything's so messy in mine. Does that look good? It's so crazy because it's been so hot here in South Texas, and like it's January and finally we're getting some cold weather. This morning it was like 40 degrees, 41 degrees or something like that, and it's like, ooh, it finally feels like winter. It's so cool. Because literally, like in the last couple days, I've worn t-shirts and jeans and stuff. But okay, so for the most part, I think I'm pretty much done with applying my makeup. I know I always go back and I separate my eyelashes more, and I put on some more mascara, and then, you know, obviously I'm going to check other lighting in my house to make sure that my makeup looks okay. So anyways, you know what, I've got a few little more random facts about me, so I'm just going to finish these up real fast, and then I'm going to go blow dry my hair and then show you the finished look. So another random fact about me is that the only show that I ever DVR is Judge Judy. I know that sounds funny. I'm not really a TV watcher. My husband does like to watch stuff like The Voice, you know, sometimes, or American Idol whenever it was out. And so we used to watch that. But, and occasionally, you know, I don't like to watch TV. I don't like to get caught up in the emotions of movies and stuff often, especially if they're sad movies. It's just really hard for me to separate myself from whatever's going on in the movie. You know, I end up taking it outside of the movie and you know, what if that happened to me in my life or something like that, you know? And like, there's been a couple times where I've gotten caught up in some of these housewives shows, and I'm like, I get so mad at myself because I end up, it's just too much drama, you know, and then I end up walking away like, I would have said this, or I would have said, you know, and it's just too many things that are going through my mind that have no place there. I mean, why am I going to get caught up in somebody else's drama? Like, why? That's just not a good place. That's not where I want to be, not in my mind and not in my thoughts or stuff like that. So I just try to stay away from those shows. Another one is, and this is kind of funny, but you know what, we're all girls, or I don't know, some of you might be guys watching, but I've never had a one-night stand. And I've never had a one-night stand, I've never had a 1 week stand, not a 2 week stand, not a 3 week stand. I don't know, like for me, even, you know, my first date with my husband, he like tried to hold my hand. It was so uncomfortable for me because I'm like, you don't even know me, you know? It's so weird. I mean, that's really intimate. Like, holding hands is really intimate. He tried to kiss me on the first date, and of course I was just like, absolutely not, you know? Actually, I didn't say that. I just said, you know, that's just not my style, you know? I wasn't rude about it. But you know, that's probably why we're married to this day, because, you know, back in the day, he had a lot of women just throwing themselves at him, and, you know, here I come along and he can't even get a kiss out of me, you know, and I'm all acting like a little schoolgirl because he's trying to hold my hand. So I don't know, you know, it's just not my thing. Like I said, I can't, it's weird to me. I don't know. I don't want to I'm not passing any judgment on anybody that ever has, but for me, it's just not something that I would ever be comfortable doing. It would really gross me out. It would make me cry, probably. It's not, no, thank you. There's just a comfort level that has to be there. And I have to feel loved by somebody in order to share myself with them, you know, like that. So, nope, never had a one-night stand. You know what? I'm going to go finish my hair, and then I'll come back and show you the finished look. I'm sure I'm going to have to fix something on my face. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay guys, so this is the final look. It's kind of a mauve-y look, I guess. That's what I'm seeing in the mirror anyways. And I didn't really get to spend much time on my hair because I really have to jet out the door, because that's another random fact about me, and that is that I'm pretty much late everywhere I go. And it's so annoying. I mean, I know it's annoying for me. I mean, I'm sure it's more annoying to the people that are waiting on me, but it's also annoying to me because I'm always like rushing around at the very last minute. And now I can tell that I'm talking really, really fast too. But anyway, so I've got to jet out the door. All right, so thanks for hanging out with me. You know, I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you next time. Bye.